Good morning, church. It's Pastor Mike. Today, for our devotion, I wanted to do something I don't normally do, and that would be to bring you lyrics to a song. I was sitting at home yesterday, and I was listening to some Christmas music. It's the season, and a particular song came on that is maybe not one of the ones that everybody knows as well. You might, but it became quickly one of my favorites when I listened to the words. And I went and did some research and just found more and more of a treasure trove of wisdom in it. And I wanted to share it with you. The song is I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day. You might know it from the Bing Crosby rendition from the 60s. Um, and it's one that we know, I think, at least culturally well. This idea of wild and sweet, the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill to men. But the song takes kind of a somber approach in its third verse. And this is heavy in what it says. It says this in the third verse. It says, "And in despair I bowed my head. There is no peace on earth, I said. For hate is strong and mocks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to men." And we can take that as a harsh look at the state of the world, but it helps to understand where this was written and when. It was written by a famous American poet, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. It was written in 1863, in the height and in the midst of the American Civil War. A civil war where Longfellow's own son had already been grievously wounded. And just a couple years before that, at the beginning of the war, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow's wife was killed in a tragic fire. And I can understand the bitterness or resentment of hearing the church bells ringing out on Christmas Day and thinking, don't tell me about peace on earth in the midst of a war. Don't tell me about goodwill to men that God has when we grieve so much loss and pain in our world. And if we leave it only there, we can be overcome, like the poet is, by the state of the world, feeling that hate is too strong to be overcome. But the song goes on. And it begins like this. It says, "Then pealed the bells more loud and deep. God is not dead, nor doth he sleep. The wrong shall fail, and the right prevail, with peace on earth and goodwill to men." You see, God's response and the church's response to the pain and the hurt of our world is not to ignore it and pretend it's not happening, but instead to ring the song of God's peace even louder, to chase away the hate and the pain and the hurt that can exist so deeply and entrenched in our world, and to remind each and every person that the right will prevail and the wrong will fail. So take hope today. In the um, in the comments to this video or to the devotion, I'm going to post the link to that Bing Crosby song for you to listen to maybe today and hear those words for what they are. Not just a Christmas carol, but a solid foundation and declaration that God can be trusted and that God's kingdom will prevail over every force of evil in this world. God bless you today and have a wonderful day filled with God's love and God's hope.